got it under control.
But it's gonna burn.
What'd you just say?
I said your fucking baby's gonna burn.
Gladys Foster woke up on 10, yo. She was like, I'm about to shit on everybody's morning. And what's so fucking disgusting is that raw ass steak she's eating, it's got flies buzzing on it and shit. Oh God. Jesus, lady.
All those little babies are gonna
And she
burn.
was so certain. All the little babies.
Gladys.
And I love how Charles Dutton, he's like, hold on, goddammit. Like, this is a family-friendly establishment. But this, Legion, man. Legion's one of those movies I feel like, when this shit came out, man, this joint came and went for sure. I was gonna put this in like the Jones that people forgot, but I don't think people really forgot this movie. I just think that it didn't leave the mark that the directors and the writers might have thought that it was going to. The idea is really cool though. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is one of those movies. You know, I was just watching a little bit of Venom, not the Marvel Venom, but Venom from 2005, the Louisiana Bayou set slasher movie. And I was like, how is it possible that a movie can be so underrated but so disappointing at the same time? Yo, this is one of those movies. Because the idea is pretty fucked up, man. The idea is pretty dark. You know, like, God lost faith in humanity, so he sends the flood to... it's an extermination, pretty much, of angels. Not demons, but angels are coming, and they're taking the form of humans and shit. They're possessing the humans. I've never heard of anything like that before. I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. And there's even a great line in this movie where Dennis Quaid, who's one of the main characters in this movie, this has got a really good cast too, by the way, but Dennis Quaid is telling Paul Bettany's character, he plays the angel Michael, he's like, well, how is any of this possible, man? I don't even believe in God. And he's like, well, that's cool, man. He doesn't believe in you either. I was like, fuck. Yo, that was like the craziest bar of 2010, hands down, in any movie, for sure. But Tyrese is in this movie, man. Lucas Black, funny enough, they both are fucking Fast and Furious alumni. Like I said, Paul Bettany's in this. Charles S. Dutton. I can't remember the names of the other cast members in here. But it's a solid enough cast, man. And it's a siege movie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we got to hold up in here and survive the night, or however long we got to stay in here. Let's board up the windows and barricade the doors and all that type of stuff. And we got to make sure the threat does not make it in here. But the catch is that they're all really after this one girl, but they're not really after her, they're after her baby. You know, they got to kill that baby. And they even send, Kevin Durant is in this movie too, man. Kevin Durant, he's a fucking bruiser, man. He was in Abigail and X-Men Origins. He's in, damn, man, I want to say he's in the Swamp Thing series. Kevin Durant's everywhere, man. He was some of the best casting in any Resident Evil movie. I know he doesn't quite look like the original Barry Burton, but Kevin Durant as Barry, I'm like, y'all fumbled that because y'all didn't give him nothing to do. But he's in there. He plays the Angel Gabriel, and it's a cool fight scene with him and Paul Bettany at the end. Like, he uses his wings as armors and weapons. But the problem with this movie, man, this shit runs out of steam pretty quick, yo. Like, Doug Jones plays the Ice Cream Man character in here, and when you see the Ice Cream Man, like, his jaw extends and his limbs extend and he's crawling towards them, they kill his ass right away. But they advertise him in the trailer like he was going to be a major villainous character, but he's in, like, 1 second, like, not 1 second, he's in one sequence for, like, 1 minute. And, like, this shit just, it's just all gas and no brakes when it hits the fan, and then it just not comes to a screeching halt, but at some point I'm just like, yo, there's nothing really happening. You know, there's a moment where Charles Dutton, can we get a movie where Charles Dutton does not sacrifice himself, man? I'm tired of seeing him play the sacrificial Negro. He's been doing it his whole career, whether it's fucking Alien 3, he sacrificed himself in that joint where he tells Ripley, pour the lead, and he gets the fucking hot lead poured on him while the alien's killing him. Like, dog, double threat guy. Like, whether it's in Mimic, when he gets his leg cut and he won't stop bleeding, he's like, yo, man, I can't stop it. I can't stop the bleeding. And he rubs the blood on the window, and then he goes on the tracks to distract the bugs, and he dies in the process. I'm like, yo, fuck, man. He dies in surviving the game. It's not really a horror movie, but technically the director did do Bones and Demon Knight, so it still counts. He dies in Gothica, I think. He dies in The Secret Window. Like, damn, man, Charles S. Dutton is one of those actors, man. You see him in a horror movie, you know it's not going to end well for him. It's just not. Tyrese in here, like, I like his character, but I feel like how many movies has Tyrese done where he's on the phone saying, I want to see my son? Like he does that shit at some point in this movie where he's talking to his baby mom and shit, and then that's when the lines go dead and the TV starts making that little beeping noise or whatever. But I feel like, I don't know, man, if you're a religious fanatic, because apparently that's a term I just made up. If you are a religious fanatic, I don't know if this will rub you the wrong way, because it is obviously like, it's a religiously driven horror movie, post-apocalyptic movie, whatever you want to call it. It damn near is post-apocalyptic because the fucking diner that they're in, this shit is it's called Paradise Falls. This diner is literally in the middle of nowhere. The tumbleweeds ain't even out there. Like, it's so far out in the middle of nowhere, man. It's like, who is driving to this place? And they don't really do anything with the possession of the angels. They just get a big crowd of people. And if you want to look at this like it's a zombie movie in your mind, it's really not. But if you want to look at it like that because there's swarms of these possessed people, then you can look at it like that to make this movie a little cooler. But I don't hate this movie. I just feel like the potential is, like, when it's there, the movie's just like, man. And Paul Bettany, I'm not really a Paul Bettany guy. I'm not a big fan of this actor. But some of the way his lines are delivered in this movie are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. And this poster is badass. Like, the poster threw me for a loop when the movie came out, man. Because I was like, all right, this is an angel. He's got a knife in one hand and a fucking gun in the other. I'm like, that's the GoldenEye gun right there. I was like, all right, cool. I don't know where this is going, but you look like a badass for sure. And then, like, Lucas Black is, he's the chosen one. He's hell bent on getting with this pregnant girl, but he's the chosen one, and markings pop up on his hand, and Paul Bettany tells him, he's like, you are the one that can save her and the baby. Read the instructions. And he tells him that the shit just pops up on his fucking arm, and it's just like, oh, I guess it's a map or something. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like if they would have made a sequel to this, it probably would have went straight to DVD. But I would have watched it, though. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Quaid's really good in this movie too, man. He's really good. Dennis Quaid, he's like the super atheist of the movie, man. He's the owner of the diner, but shotgun toting. He's pretty cool in this movie, man. But it's all right, man. The movie's not bad. It's just missed opportunity, man. Wasted potential. That's all. But I like, it's certain parts of this movie, like when Gladys Foster's climbing on the ceiling and all that. That shit is great. When the Ice Cream Man pops up, that shit is great. When they're having like the shootout, and Charles S. Dutton, even though he's a sacrificial Negro in this movie, I will say his death is pretty vicious, yo. He goes out saving this lady who's half crazed, and she thinks her husband's outside, and he's like crucified upside down, and he's boiling, like his skin's bubbling in the sun. And then Charles Dutton like kind of throws her out the way and turns his back so the explosion doesn't get on her, and the husband explodes, and acid comes out of his body and flies all on Charles Dutton's back. You see that man's spine, all his vertebrae. You see it. Like, everything. And he just, at some point, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, is he going to be all right? And then he just keels over on his face. It's like, damn. But, and Charles S. Dutton, he's also like he's like the preacher in this movie. Now, what would Jesus do, my brother? It's like, he's kind of his character from Menace to Society. But just in a diner full of this ragtag, he's with this ragtag group of people. So, I don't know, it's worth checking out, but don't expect too much. I feel like by the end of the second act going into the third act, because it is pretty lackluster for the most part, at least for me.